my channel. As always, I am very excited for today's video, and this one is going to be all about how to start eating healthier. Now, much like last week's video, I do want to preface this by saying that I am not a nutritionist, but I am a fitness instructor, and in studying for that, you do learn a little bit about general nutrition, and other than that, I'm just somebody who loves health in all aspects, not just fitness. So I have done some research on my own, as well as these are just like trial and error kind of things that I have done. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. So tip number one is to drink more water. Now, I did a whole video about drinking water last week if you want to go check that out, but for this one I'm going to kind of specify more that it can help you eat healthier, because a lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. So if you feel really hungry and you technically shouldn't be and you want to go grab a snack, something you can try to do is to drink more water. And then if in a half hour you still feel hungry, then obviously go get a snack. Don't starve yourself. But you'll find that oftentimes that water was enough to hold you over, because really, again, you were not hungry, you were just thirsty. Tip number two is to try and get in a morning workout. Now, this will not be available to everybody, but if you are able to get in a morning or midday workout, do it. The earlier you can do it, the better, because I feel like when you work out in the morning, you're kickstarting your day and you want to make the rest of the day just as healthy as how you started. And so that's going to go into how you're eating, how you're moving, your overall just energy levels and mood will be so much better and brighter and healthier and happier. Whereas when you work out at night, oftentimes you are just trying to work off all the bad stuff you did that day, and really it's just going to kind of keep you at a maintenance level. It's not really going to help too much, because you ate 500 calories you shouldn't have, and then you're just working off 500 calories at the end of the day, and then you're just staying at maintenance level. You're not really losing any weight or gonna reach any fitness goals, at least not as fast. Now again, some people can only work out at night, and I understand that, but if you can try to work out earlier in the day, it is very beneficial. Tip number three is to try limiting eating out to once a week, if not none. Now, I know that's not realistic for a lot of people, but so try to get it down to once a week. And a great way to do that is leading into tip number four, which is to plan. If you plan what days you're having what meals, it makes life so much simpler, especially if you meal prep those meals. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on how to meal prep and plan your meals, so stay tuned for that. But just knowing that if you meal prep and plan and just schedule one time a week to eat out, it makes life a lot simpler. Now, a way that you can kind of plan when you're going to eat out is, if, I know right now we can't go out anywhere, but if your friends invite you out to dinner on a Friday night, and you know that that Friday night is going to be when you're eating out, then you put that on the calendar and you schedule the rest of your week. You have to eat all your meals at home, and you have to meal prep all those meals for your home. And again, I'm going to be doing a video on this to get into more detail, so don't worry. But that is a very great way to eat healthier, is just to cook from home. It doesn't even have to be something super healthy. As long as you start cooking from home, anything you make at home is healthier than if you make it at a restaurant. Tip number five is to make a shopping list and not stray from it. I refuse to buy any food that is not on my shopping list. And I do shop for my whole family, so there are foods that are on my list that I don't necessarily love getting, but I'm gonna get it because it is what my family wants. And I'm gonna do a video on how to eat healthy with your family being around. We'll get there, but just make a shopping list and do not go away from it. A great way to try not kind of go off track is to not go up and down the aisles. You only go the aisles you need food from, as well as eating before you go to the grocery store is a great way to not kind of get cravings while you're there. And I personally like to have a written shopping list in a notebook or something. Can have it on your phone. For some reason my brain just, I don't take that as seriously as if I have it written down, and it cannot change. Tip number 6 is to alternate between high carb and low carb day. Now when I do my planning and meal prep video, I will be going into more detail about how to do this, but it's just as I said, one day you have higher carbs, the next day you have lower carbs. I would say to try and match up the day that you're going to be eating out that week to your high carb day, just to kind of balance things out. When I do say high carbs though, I mean healthy high carbs. Sweet potatoes or even normal potatoes, brown rice, whole wheat, pastas and breads. Don't have all of that in one day though. You still want to kind of balance things out. So if you're having brown rice that day, I'm not also going to have quinoa that day. But you know, maybe for lunch I have a bowl with brown rice in it, and for breakfast I have like some type of avocado toast or something, and for dinner maybe I have sweet potatoes with whatever meat I'm having. That's kind of where you can implement more high carbs. And then on your low carb day, I say low carb because really by alternating between these 2 days, you are restricting how much carbs you're having without it kind of feeling like you're going crazy. Like oftentimes with keto, you're really craving this stuff, you're having all these negative side effects, but if you're just alternating every other day, then you're still getting your fix on that carb, and you're really only going one day at a time that you're not having it, and then the next day you know you can have some again. Number 7 is to download some type of fitness app. I personally use LifeSum. I know a lot of people use MyFitnessPal. Personally, I use LifeSum because it's a prettier, like more aesthetically pleasing option, and that's just kind of the vibe I go for. Is I like things that look pretty. It makes me more motivated to do it. But any type of tracker, do your own research. Just something where you can start seeing the foods you're eating on a daily basis, and you'll find yourself like kind of feeling a little bit guilty if you put something unhealthy in there, and it makes you realize like, I don't want to keep seeing this on my chart every single day. I want to start getting rid of that, and that can help you kind of see again where you're at, and then help see where you need to improve and cut out some foods. And a lot of these apps do have meal plans or some recipes on there, and it can help track your macros, which I can do a video on if you would like. But yeah, just downloading an app to help keep yourself accountable is very, very beneficial. Tip number 8 is to not beat yourself up if you eat something you weren't supposed to that day. You are setting these rules in place for yourself, and yes, you should be doing things like having the app to hold yourself accountable, but you can't be too hard on yourself. If you need to start off by having one kind of bad snack a day, go for it. Eventually, the more you start implementing healthy habits, the more they kind of domino effect off each other, and without realizing it, you start creating more healthy habits and cutting out things without even trying it. So don't beat yourself up. Take it nice and slow, one step at a time. And again, just by implementing some of these things, don't do all of these things at once. Implementing some will help lead to the next one, and then the next one, and then without realizing it, you're doing all these healthy habits you didn't even think of doing in the first place. So I hope you enjoyed that video and found these tips helpful. I am going to be doing my next video all about meal prepping and planning, specifically while having to do it for your entire family. And if you are interested in checking that out, I would love if you subscribed if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when that goes up. You can like, comment, and share with your friends. And with all that being said, I'm going to go, but before I do, I remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.